Alright, so I didn't want to shoot a short little video of it on solid white. I did have a couple people post and request to see it on solid white, so here it is, all lit up on solid white. That's pretty cool. Got a reflection of it there. Everything's still hooked up exactly the same, so we got 6 wires coming out of the output going over to the bottom, and then those 6 wires go into I think I've got them set up to go almost every other strand, so they're evenly divided down through there to distribute power across the entire 532 pixels. And then of course I've still got the 14 gauge wire coming in here. I don't know why it won't focus. There we go. Alright, so 14 gauge wire coming into here. And then the 18 gauge wire coming out of here and going over. I guess the pixels are gonna mess with the focus if I try to pull out. Just gonna destroy focus. Wow. Yeah, it's having a very difficult time trying to focus on those. But all of them do look beautifully white from the very beginning all the way through. None of them are pinkish or yellow or anything like that. I'm not running them at a lower brightness, so I don't have to worry about trying to lower the voltage. And I can show you that over here on the computer. My office is a mess, so you just have to ignore it. So here we have them, 255. Probably actually, if I turn a little bit and get a reflection, I can get where I turn them brightness down on them. Here, let's do this. Pull that over here, and now we'll lower the brightness down as we go. And they do look pinkish in the reflection, but I think that's just the reflection of the camera. Yeah, if I try to focus it, it brightens it back up, but it blows the screen out too much. So there we go. So if I crank that all the way back up, again we're on pure white. If I focus on the reflection, there it is. We'll go back around here and I'll show you that. So back around to the pure white. So this video's been going for a couple minutes now. I've had them on pure white for a while. Yeah, it has an increasingly difficult time trying to focus on those because they're so bright. Even in a well-lit room, they're having a difficult time focusing. But nothing's warm. Nothing's heated up. I don't have a meter that I can put on these things to test how much amperage it's drawing. I could do the math on it really quick. So if each pixel is 20 milliamps per color, it's roughly 60 milliamps, so 0.06 times 532 pixels. We're looking right at the max of this board, right at 30 amps is what this thing's drawing. Possibly a little bit older, but that's being generous. Even at the 30 amps is being generous for 532 pixels, so they're probably not drawing quite that many. But again, that should be the max of what I rated this board for. And the board itself is not what limits that. It's the connector on it. I specifically designed these connectors so that they shouldn't be able to be overloaded by the size of wire that you have in them. That's why these on the front here are so small. That's why they only go up to 16 gauge, so that you can't double and triple and quadruple up there and put a bunch of different gauge wires inside there and overload it. The back one goes all the way down to 12 gauge, I believe, and the back connector is the one that's rated at the 30. I believe it's 32 amps total, but I'm still calling it 30. The board itself is not ran with traditional PCB traces. If you look closely, there's a pore. We can get it to focus on that corner. You can see the copper pore underneath. There it is. So there's a pore that goes from here on this side over to about the midway point on the fuse, and then there's another pore on the front. So those two pores are the power pore on the top, so it's pure copper pore, It's not 1 ounce copper. I made the copper thicker. And then the bottom pour is off solid ground plane on the bottom side too. So it's not using the traditional little traces you would see on a PCB to run the power over there to it. It's using an actual pour there. So it should withstand the 30 amps without breaking a sweat, which is currently doing just fine. And they should be fairly evenly distributed across each one of those 6 outputs on the front side. So we're up to about 5.5 minutes right now. Still not warm or anything. Of course, it's been running longer than this, but this video itself's up to 5.5 minutes. Still not warm. Everything on 100% white. Wish I could get that to focus because it just looks blown out. It's almost... it's just not going to focus on how bright they are. But they are 100% white, and they do look flawless. I don't have any pink pixels. I don't have any purplish pink. If I can get in, you could see them. Just a random pixel in the middle. I mean, they are 100% white. There we go. Now we're getting focus. That'll focus close up. It just doesn't like doing it far out. It goes crazy when you get out far. But yeah, as you can see, nothing looks nothing seems to be an issue. It seems to be working just fine. So there's 100% white. We're up to 6.5 minutes now. Still no problems, and there shouldn't be any problems. The board should more than handle what I've got it going on here, and this should be about the limit that you want to put on each board. You probably want to limit it around 500 pixels, because if not, you're going to be pushing it over that 30 amp mark. While I'm sure it would go a few amps over 30, I don't think that I would recommend that you keep pushing it just to see how far you could take it. But there it is, all white, and it's doing great. All right, let me know if you got any questions. And again, as soon as I can get the pricing together for a group buy or co-op, I will let you know. Thanks.